Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of AI Signal and Noise. It is Wednesday, and dude, we have some absolutely wild AI news to break down today. I am Taylor.
And I am Morgan. Glad to be here. Though I have to admit, some of today's headlines are making me a bit skeptical. We have to look past the marketing hype, right?
Oh, totally, but some of this stuff is just so cool. Let's dive right into our first major story because Google just did something insane with real-time translation.
All right, what did Google do now? Let me guess. Is it another incremental model update that they are claiming will change the world? I am ready for the pitch.
Dude, yes, but this one is actually massive. They just released Gemini 3.5, Live Translate. It is a streaming speech-to-speech audio model that handles over 70 languages in real time.
Wait, real time? Like no awkward pauses while the machine translates? Most translation tools make you wait until the entire sentence is finished before they start speaking.
Exactly. This thing translates continuously, staying just a few seconds behind the speaker. And get this, it actually preserves your tone, your pace, and even your pitch.
Okay, I admit, preserving tone is a big deal. Usually, automated translation sounds like a lifeless robot. But how does it handle accents or background noise, though?
Well, Google says it is super robust. They are rolling it out to Google Meet, the Translate app, and developers via the Live API. Meet went from 5 languages to over 70.
That is a massive jump, but I wonder about the latency. A few seconds of delay can still feel pretty awkward in a fast-paced business meeting, don't you think?
I mean, maybe a little, but compared to waiting for a whole paragraph to finish, it is a game changer for global collaboration, dude. It is like having a sci-fi universal translator.
It is definitely a step closer to that. I just hope the translation accuracy holds up when people start speaking fast or using local slang. That is always the real test.
Oh, totally. But the tech is moving so fast. I bet it is going to get even better. Speaking of things moving fast, did you see what OpenAI just said about automation?
Oh, I did see that. OpenAI is suddenly singing a very different tune about the future of automation. What happened to their goal of automating everything by 2028?
Right? It is wild. Sam Altman and his chief scientist now say that entirely automating everything is not the future they want. They are talking about a human-machine tandem instead.
Wait, really? That is a massive pivot from a company that was basically racing toward full artificial general intelligence. Why the sudden shift in narrative?
Well, they're calling for an international regulatory body that could actually slow down frontier development if things get too risky. It is like they're hitting the brakes a bit.
Or maybe they are realizing that fully autonomous AI is much harder to build safely than they initially thought. It feels a bit like self-preservation and managing expectations.
Maybe, but they also mention that keeping humans in the loop is just a better design. Like, we do not actually want a world where humans have nothing to do, you know?
I actually agree with that. A hybrid human-AI partnership makes way more sense than complete automation. But I still wonder if this is just public relations spin to appease regulators.
Dude, you are always so skeptical. But honestly, even if it is PR, having OpenAI publicly state they want humans in the loop is a pretty big deal for the industry.
It is, but let's see if their actual product development aligns with this new philosophy. Actions speak louder than press releases, Taylor.
Fair point, Morgan. But while OpenAI is talking about slowing down, other researchers are finding out just how powerful autonomous agents already are.
Are you referring to the new studies on agent capabilities? Because those have some eye-opening data about how long these systems can run without human intervention.
Yes, exactly. The Harvard and Perplexity study is what I am looking at. It completely redefines what we think of as search.
I read that paper. The numbers are definitely interesting, but we need to look closer. What are the actual productivity gains they are claiming?
Dude, the numbers are insane. They found that AI agents can perform 26 minutes of autonomous work per session compared to just 33 seconds for traditional search.
Right, but let's think about what that actually means. A search session is short because humans get the answer and move on. An agent is running complex, multi-step tasks.
Exactly. That is the whole point. Instead of you clicking around for 30 minutes, the agent does the research, compiles the data, and presents it to you. It is a massive time saver.
Sure, it saves time, but what about the cost? Running an LLM agent for 26 minutes continuously uses a lot of API credits and compute power. Is it actually cost-effective?
The study actually looked at that. They found massive gains in both time and cost efficiency, plus a much broader scope of work attempted. It is not just hype, it is real productivity.
I am still a bit cautious. If an agent is running autonomously for that long, how do you prevent it from hallucinating or going down a rabbit hole of wrong information?
Well, that is the challenge for sure. But the study shows that we are moving from simple query and response search to actual autonomous problem solving. That is a huge shift, Morgan.
It is a shift, I agree, but it means users will need to become editors and auditors of AI work rather than just searchers. That requires a whole new skill set.
Totally, but I would rather edit a report for 5 minutes than spend an hour writing it from scratch. Now, speaking of AI doing deep work, this next story is incredibly intense.
Yes, this one is a very serious topic. Researchers at MIT and Mass General Brigham developed an AI to identify intimate partner violence risk from medical records.
Yeah, it is heavy, but so important. Apparently, the AI can flag these risks years before patients actually disclose them to doctors, like it spots patterns we miss.
It is an incredible medical application, but it raises some massive ethical and safety questions. If an AI flags a patient, what does the hospital do with that information?
Right, because if it is handled poorly, it could actually put the victim in more danger, especially if the partner finds out, or if the system makes a false accusation.
Exactly. Medical privacy is paramount, and intimate partner violence is incredibly complex. An algorithm cannot understand the nuances of a patient's personal safety like a trained human can.
Oh, absolutely. The researchers stressed that this is meant to be a tool to help doctors start supportive conversations, not to make automated decisions or contact authorities.
But we know how these systems get implemented. There is always a risk of automation bias, where doctors might rely too heavily on the AI's flag without doing the deep clinical work.
That is a really fair point, Morgan. It is a powerful technology, but the implementation has to be incredibly careful. It really shows how AI is entering these deeply sensitive areas of life.
It really does. It is a stark reminder that as AI becomes more capable, the ethical frameworks around it need to evolve just as fast, if not faster.
Beautifully said. We need to make sure we are using these tools to protect people, not just because the technology exists to do it.
Yes, because if we rush these tools into clinics without strict guidelines, we risk causing more harm than good. It is a very delicate balance.
Absolutely. But if it saves even a few lives by starting those conversations early, it is a tool worth developing with the utmost care.
Well said, Taylor. That is all the time we have for today's deep dives. We covered some incredibly groundbreaking tech and some really heavy ethical questions.
Dude, yes! From universal translation to autonomous agents and medical AI, the landscape is changing daily. Make sure to subscribe and join us again.
Absolutely. We will see you all tomorrow for more analysis of the signal and the noise.
Yes, thank you everyone for listening. That is it for today. We will be back tomorrow with more AI news.